We'll call this meeting of the Committee of the Whole to order at 6:27. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen,
Here.
Mayor Murphy,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Mr. Doherty,
Here.
Mr. Delph,
Here.
Mrs. Witt,
Here.
Ms. Marcus.
Here.
We had an item that we wanted to add to the agenda, and I sent out information today to council. It was the Parks and Recreation splash pad supplemental, which there was kind of a snafu in the uploading, and I just wanted to find out if there are any objections to adding that to the agenda.
Law Director, do we need a voice vote on this?
Yeah, I would do it just a quick voice vote.
Okay, oh. It just came up this afternoon.
There was really, the presentation is the exact same presentation from the last time. It is up on your screens. If you want to turn the monitors on, it will be there for you. So it's the exact presentation that he's going to review with you. Yeah, sorry about that.
So we get a voice vote to approve adding this to the agenda.
Yeah, do we need a
Roll call,
motion?
please.
No, okay. Mayor Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mr. Delph,
Yes.
Mrs. Witt,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus.
Yes. Okay, the next item is the approval of minutes for the Committee of the Whole meeting from June 25th. If there are no changes or corrections, they will be approved as they are. Hearing none, they are approved. Finance Director, do you have a report?
I have no report, thank you.
City Manager,
I have no items, Ms. Marcus, thank you.
Mayor,
I have nothing at this time, thank you.
Law Director,
No, ma'am, thank you.
Clerk of Council.
Nothing, thank you.
Okay, we'll move into business. Anyone wishing to raise a question about any piece of legislation listed on this agenda will have 3 minutes at this time. All other topics to be addressed at council will be heard later in this meeting, and this does include the item for Parks and Rec with the splash pad. I see no takers, so we'll go into business. The first one is the 2026 crack ceiling program.
Hi, this is one of our annual programs to help maintain the streets from getting any worse cracking. This extends the life of them and is a regular project. It's also larger this year because last year we weren't able to perform due to the company who won the bid closing. So we did have a successful bid, 2 of them actually, which I'm really thankful for being so late in the season. Scodeller, who was the other company that bid last year, they came in with a low bid of $132,300. So I recommend awarding the 2026 crack ceiling program to Scodeller Construction Incorporated with the accepted bid amount of $132,300 and a contingency of $13,230, approving a total of $145,530.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mr. Delph,
Yes.
Mrs. Witt,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus.
Yes. The next item is the City of Dayton 2027 intergovernmental agreement.
Yes, Ms. Marcus, thank you. During our May 29th council work session, we discussed research about garbage collection and also the potential ability to renew a 1-year option renewal with our current provider, the City of Dayton Public Works Department. During that discussion, I shared that I would look into whether a renewal occurs administratively or must have legislation. It has been determined that an optional renewal should occur by legislation, so I'm requesting that legislation for consideration tonight to be prepared for the next regular meeting. I also want to share that John Parker with the City of Dayton Department of Public Works is here to answer any questions or concerns. John, if you'd like, you can go to the podium. Thank you, sir.
No.
There we go. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, council members, City Manager and Clerk. John Parker, City of Dayton, Department of Public Works. I'm here as the City Manager's request to answer any questions that you may have regarding the services that we provide for the City of Moraine.
John, I'm just curious. I had to walk around to get signatures. I'm the newest council member. While walking around, that was one of the biggest complaints that I got, was trash.
Okay.
It's from broke cans to just this Friday, watch trash guy throw a can in my neighbor's yard. I've talked to you personally several times, had several different instances. I'm just curious if there is a remedy, because none of our other local cities, I follow all their community connection pages and stuff on Facebook. This is not an issue that you see in other cities. This is an issue we see in Moraine. And we're paying you for service, and in my personal opinion, I don't think that we are getting our money's worth for the service. So I'm just curious, what's different going forward than what the past several years have been?
Councilmember, I really appreciate you asking that question and bringing that to my attention. And yes, we have spoken on the phone on several occasions. The biggest thing that we can do as a city of Dayton, is to work with our folks to make sure that we're doing proper training before they're sent out here. Generally speaking, all 15 folks that are in Moraine every Friday they're full-time equivalents. That's their job every week to come out here. Occasionally, we do have absences, vacations, and whatnot, and we have to fill back those positions with folks that are not normally out here. I completely agree with you. It's unacceptable for any container, not just a personal container, but any container to be thrown in somebody's yard. And as we've talked before, I feel like we've come to resolutions, and we've fixed some problems, and clearly we still have some problems to fix and some training issues to resolve. And I'd like to work with you moving forward to identify those staff members so that we can do that, and or remove them from the fold altogether, because clearly the professional standards that they're exhibiting are not. They don't meet our standards in Dayton, and certainly don't meet our contractual obligations here in the city of Moraine. So I do apologize on behalf of that, those employees, and that situation that happened. You shouldn't have to answer those questions. I agree with you wholeheartedly from your constituents, and we will work to address them through training and or removal if needed to rectify the situation.
Thanks, John. I guess my only other question would be, as a city, have we ever done a public survey?
In regards to trash? I'm not recalling. Yeah.
I mean, I understand that we pay for trash for our citizens, but let's not forget we pay for trash for our citizens with our citizens' tax dollars. So, I mean, we do. The city is funded by tax dollars.
Property tax.
We all pay income tax here.
Right, income tax, not property tax. There's a difference. Income tax, you have to work in the city. Property tax is your home. You only get.
I don't work in the city, and I have to pay Moraine income tax. So therefore, we all pay taxes to the city of Moraine in one way or another, and our citizens but vast majority of our citizens do work, but in a roundabout way, they are paying for this service, even though we're signing the check. So my question just was, have we ever done a survey to see if the vast majority is content with this. If that's the case, then
There was a survey, but I can even go back probably 20 years, and it was on everything. It was on Parks and Rec, it was on Always Your Trash, always. There was a survey that was sent out at one time. Couldn't tell you what year it was. Been doing this since the 90s. But there was, and it asked people their opinions. And if I'm not mistaken, we got a few back, but it's like everything else. Nobody sent them back in. So they never did it again, that I know of. I do remember one time of sending out a survey, asking people how they felt about things that was in the Moraine report. And you were supposed to send it back.
I'm wondering, as far as a survey, or maybe, I feel like recently I had directed some people to contact you, not knowing that you had moved into a new position. I apologize for flooding you with that. It was remedied, shortly after. But is there, we were kind of directed to have citizens call dispatch. Is that still the best solution, or what do you see on your end? What works best with what you have going on that we can direct our citizens to reach out?
Another good question. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to answer that. Yes, the best avenue for the residents to lodge a complaint, request a container, if they're damaged or somehow broken, lids, things happen. For example, the Republic containers that were originally here are still, some of them are still here, and they're past their useful life. So of course they're going to get damaged and they're going to get broken. And then there's, to the other council members' point, there's some training that needs to be done, because some care and some and working with those containers to make sure that we are not just flinging them around and making sure that we're breaking them needs to be put in place. But to answer your question, the best avenue for the residents to contact us is through the call center. It's a consolidated call center, so they get calls from water main breaks to everything in the city of Dayton. So it's not just it's not a waste collection line, but you are opted into that, and your complaint will be logged in. It is sent in a service request, and then that goes right to the supervisor in the same day. So as soon as it's logged in, they hit send, it goes into their queue to be looked at the same day. So that is the best avenue. In situations where those are not answered or not completed in a timely manner, they are, if a resident does call back in, they are required to, they send that, it comes to the operations supervisor, and it also comes to myself as well, so that we can investigate and get that taken care of immediately. For whatever reason, it was not handled in a expeditious manner.
I appreciate that. I feel like an open line of communication will resolve the bulk of the issues we're facing.
Yeah, and I did some statistics that I can wow you with. I don't want to waste everybody's time, but I compile information. In 2024, we had 191 complaints come through that system. On average, in a year, we're making 111,000 collections. You do the math, you divide it, it's less than 1%. So our success rate is 99%. Now, that doesn't include phone calls, emails, duplicates, so we know that there's some additional complaints out there. I want 100% compliance. Am I going to get that? I'd like to have 100% compliance when I go to the fast food restaurant and make sure I get my order correct, but it doesn't always happen. So the mistakes are going to be made, and our goal is to communicate effectively with everyone and to get it rectified ASAP. Within the same weekend, I think a majority of our complaints are handled within the same weekend. If they're not, I'm disappointed, because we have a responsibility to the residents of the city of Moraine, and we take that very seriously.
I would just like to say that I've been on council since 2013. We've had Republic, we've had Waste Management. We've never had a agency that has responded like Mr. Parker. He's answered complaints, he's come out personally, picked up trash. We did not have that with the others. There was complaints, yes, but they were not handled like Dayton does. So before we start wanting to change anything, just go back and look at what we had.
I'm not necessarily saying that we have to change. I'm not saying Dayton is the worst that there is, but I've also been in the city since 2005, and I can remember growing up on Wynwood and watch Waste Management or Rumpke come by and watch every can be taken with one, maybe two guys, not three guys. I'm not saying we have to make this change. I'm simply saying, me personally, I do not feel that we are getting our money's worth out of the city of Dayton. And I am just curious if we have ever asked our citizens what their opinion is. Because, like I said, when I walked around, that was a very common complaint, is our trash.
Well, see, you got a different response. Terry and I covered so many houses in the city of Dayton when she was running. We had one person even mention the trash. One person out of almost every house in this city.
Whether they, yeah, I mean, maybe they didn't just do it and you did,
Yeah,
but.
yes, yeah, I mean, and that's, but Mike runs Moraine Community Connection. He sees everything. And
We-
it's a,
we see
it's a
that
week,
too.
it's
Yeah,
a
we
weekly,
do see that.
you know, multiple people, you know, a week.
And that is true, but what I think she's saying is, even though we've had others, we've had Waste
No, I
Management.
had this service.
And that, we got the same complaints, the exact same complaints back then when we had other people. It's,
When I called Waste Management about a problem, that was obviously their fault. They tried to tell me it was my fault, and the person on the phone was arguing with me. I've not had that problem with City of Dayton. But there is something, we talk about the trash cans being broken. I would suggest watching what routes are on and which employees are on those routes at the time that it's done, because I've seen most of the employees do a good job. But about 3 years ago, I had repeated problems, and I still do on occasion, the attached lid being torn off of one of my cans. I was outside in the driveway and was able to see them. They didn't know I was watching. It was one employee. My nickname for him got to be Mr. Muscles because he looked like he'd been lifting weights and stuff. He grabbed the can, grabbed hold of the attached lid, and ripped it right off the can near the hinges. And he never even lifted the can all the way up. Then he grabbed the trash and put it in the truck. That was a deliberate act. And it only takes one bad employee to give the firm a bad name. So I'm like, my suggestion would be that is just to follow what routes they're on and see who the employees are and seeing if there's a repetition in the employees' names. That's just my suggestion on that. I have no idea if that guy's still on there or not.
Thank you. I duly noted, and I appreciate that. And I believe that training is an ongoing issue, not just, it's with any field that we're in. Ongoing education, communication, and training is always essential to getting the best out of, the work that is being performed. I'd hope that, I remember talking to you at that point in time, Councilwoman, and I remember, trying to rectify the situation on several occasions. So we were open to, doing whatever we needed to do. I don't believe that person's probably still on the route, but again, I'm not against removing folks that are not performing in a professional way.
Other repeated problem I had, and I didn't get complaints from residents, but I had a problem with it myself. Our streets are narrow, and they were leaving the cans in the streets, and I come home one day, and I'm driving down the street, and it looked like a pinball alley. And we did have a problem going around to get that. I think most of it's done, but I couldn't speak for over like on Wynwood. But I do drive around the Platte sometimes after trash pickup to see how many cans are still out and how many are in the street. But I do note that some of the residents start out putting their cans in the street, and I don't know who's at fault there. I don't know if they're doing it because they think that's where they're supposed to be or what. but I can only complain about the stuff that comes up after trash pickup. But it was really bad the one day. My cans, everybody's cans were in there. You had to dodge trash cans to drive down the street, and it's a narrow street. So, but I do appreciate that does seem to be taken care of now.
Yes, ma'am. Like I mentioned, I mean, our goal is to solve problems. That's what we do in public service. We solve those problems. And certainly us working together to solve those problems is a benefit to both organizations. Us being made aware, and then us doing our part to make sure that we're in good faith training and holding the teams accountable for making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. There was in the cul-de-sacs and the mail being ran. We were unaware that the mail was being ran in a vehicle, and that the containers being put in the cul-de-sac was blocking the mail from being delivered. That has been rectified, and that was several years ago. But once we were made aware, we did work on that situation to resolve it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions for him?
Just for our understanding, how many crews? Are we getting the same people in the same neighborhoods? Are you moving them around a little bit? How does that work, just so we know?
Sure. I'm glad to give you some background on that. There's 5 crews. There's 3 trash trucks and 2 recycling trucks that are on non-bulk weeks. On bulk weeks, we occasionally bring out a lightning loader to get the big items, to avoid injury, and it helps our guys. If somebody's putting out mattresses and different things, the lightning loader certainly help. So on each one of those crews, there's an operator and 2 groundmen. Essentially, they're assigned to those routes, so that's the routes that they do every week, so that they do become familiar. As I mentioned from time to time, and especially, we've been through COVID together. We've been through some long stretches of things where there's some instability in the employment world with employees. So we try to be as stable as we can with the employees to make sure that they are the ones that are on the truck each week, so that they become familiar with the residents, they become familiar with the neighborhoods, and then they know what's best, and it's just like, it's easy for them to, it's muscle memory at that point for them to do their job and make sure that they do it adequately. So there's 5 trucks in the city each Friday and or Saturday, depending on the holiday.
Hey, John, yet other than just occasionally the containers not getting back where they were in the grass or driveway to begin with, or once I did a little survey just on my street, and maybe once or twice a month, there's a little bit of trash out in the street where they just didn't bend over to pick them up, and you're working on that on a day-to-day basis with the guys. But the main question that we had, and you kind of answered it when you answered Mike's question, is that if a container is broken, I've had a few constituents, their biggest concern is the call center still the best place to call immediately or go through city manager's secretary? Because their concern is trying to get that replacement container within the next 7 days so they can use it the following week.
So in 29, the contract was put in place, and we have not changed any of the language in the contract. We knew that going in that folks will be using their own personal containers, which are required, and or the containers that they had from the previous vendor that worked in here. As I mentioned earlier, some of those are, most of them, if not all of them, are coming to a useful end of their life, just like anything else, wear and tear. So with that, yes, the best way to do that is still call the call center. Now, the call center may say it may not be replaced. However, they do log it. They do send in a service request. And my staff and I have been, last week, I probably had 6 or 8 of them, I think, that delivered, because we want to do what's right by I'm going to do what's right by the city of, the residents of the city of Moraine. We understand the circumstances. If there's even a question of whether we broke it, or not. We're trying to be as liberal as we can as far as the containers are concerned to not put out the residents.
How do you get rid of, and this is something because a guy down the street from me every week puts out a trash can, and he has gotten to the point where he puts a big sign on it that says trash. I think he means the trash can itself. And every week it's sitting out there, and I mean,
So I think I can elaborate on that. So our folks are trained. We go to 20,000 residents in the city of Dayton every single day. So they're trained. The blue containers are recycling. The green ones are trash. So occasionally we run across the blue containers that are actually trash containers. And I think that what that person may be trying to represent is that this is a trash can, not a recycle bin. Because when the recycling folks get there and they see trash in it, though they will leave it because they feel like it's contaminated. So he's, I think, articulating to our folks that, hey, it's a trash container, even though it's blue, so that they can differentiate between it, the trash and the recycling. And if that's not the case, then please let me know, you know, and
it's
I'll,
always out there, and it's like.
we'll work on it.
Does he think that once the trash can taken, because, you know, I always look at that and go in, because I would have thought, it wasn't one of the big ones. It's not one of the big ones. It's a small trash can, that's why I'm asking. It's like one you buy for yourself,
Yeah.
and that, so to me, that automatically would be trash, I would think.
Well, the minute we throw it away, then it's somebody's personal container and we're
then it's
responsible.
scream
So,
and holler.
and then it's a, you know,
Yeah.
so that's, we want to be err on the side of caution with that. I'd rather somebody, quite honestly, call in and say, hey, they were supposed to take this, than us take it and then be responsible for replacement costs.
True.
Right.
I've gotten rid of them in the past by if it's like a plastic, not lighter weight, it's either busting it up the rest of the way and putting it inside the other can. If it was a bigger can, I'd just put a big note on it saying, take the can. And it worked pretty good.
Be clear about your wording, certainly. That will help us. Yes. Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody else have any questions? Need a motion to?
Yeah, yes, please.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
My name's Brent Shane. I'm at the Moraine Rec Center. So the trash cans or the dumpsters at the rec center and the civic center, you know, they need to go back into a cubbyhole, and they don't get put back in there on a regular. So I don't know if that has ever been addressed. But the other thing that is kind of that we used to do, we used to recycle a lot, and when we switched over, we used to have a recycling dumpster. Now we don't. We just have little toters but we get a lot of boxes from Amazon or whatever we order from. So we are actually throwing a lot of recycle away in the dumpsters of trash. So I don't know if there's something that we can address that issue, because we've kind of gone away from just any cardboard, any kind of that kind of stuff, just we're throwing in the trash where we could be recycling it, but we don't have big enough containers to put that stuff in. So I don't know if that is something that's come to you before, but I just wanted to get that out there, because we throw a lot of boxes away and a lot of paper. So
So you might explain that might explain some of the recycling went down last year. It's up this year, and it was up in 24.
Yeah.
We can certainly get look at getting a dumpster out there. I don't know if it'll fit in because the trash, if it's on the side of the building or it's in a location that our front loaders can get it, we can certainly address that. We want you to recycle.
Yeah.
You know, it's the right thing to do. We do not want you to throw your recycling material in the trash. And we can absolutely do that, and that's certainly something we can meet offline and talk about, and we'll make happen for you.
okay, thank you.
Yep. Good. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, John, for coming and answering all the questions. We greatly appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you. Nice meeting you all. You put a name with a face now. You know what I look like, so I'll be careful out in public. So thank you very much. I really appreciate the invite.
Thank you. Do we have anyone in the audience that wants to ask a question? Okay, we've got a gentleman at the back.
Yeah, my name's Mike Lucas, a resident of Moraine. I'm trying to address the situation going on at 5140 Pensacola Boulevard, where they've been trash diving, dumpster diving, whatever you want to call it, hauling things behind the fence for years. Looks like a bomb's exploded in her backyard. It's already been brung to notice once. They're still doing the same thing. And on Butler Street, there's cars parked on the wrong side of the street with oncoming traffic, and officers drive by it constantly. They don't do a thing about it. If this stuff isn't addressed, it's just going to keep getting out of hand. People are just going to keep pushing the limits to whatever they can get away with if we don't address it. It's also causing a mosquito problem, and it's conducive to mice and rat harboring infestations. So 5140, something has to be done with it. It's been going on for years, and you've all got aerial photos that have been sent to you, and it still hadn't been taken care of. So I would like to see if we can't get something done and get it taken care of.
Is that all the way at the end of the street? Is that all the way at the end, like at the corner of Butler?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I
And
think that,
also, we need to get cottonwood trees cut down on Olds Creek, damaging everybody's roofs and their air conditioning systems. It's just a constant nuisance. You have to go out there. It's like your air conditioning system is wearing a sweater and it can't breathe. You have to go out there and continuously keep cleaning it constantly. And it's also fell through the roof of my garage. Before I bought this place, it fell through the roof of the garage a few different times. The branches have broke off. Cottonwood trees aren't good for anything. They're not even good for firewood. So they're just a huge nuisance. And the Corps engineers, they won't do anything about it. NCR helped me do my property line where I spent $7,000 and they spent $7,000 to have them all trimmed back away from my property line, but it's still not sufficient enough. I want to cut it down myself, but it's not on my property. So we need to get something done with that. It's causing problems for everybody in the neighborhood. So that's all I needed to say.
Who did you say got the aerial pictures?
Her name's Karen.
No, I mean, were they sent?
Yeah, I don't know who they were sent to. I think they were sent to Brett or
Okay.
Brent. Yeah.
Because I knew we did not.
You got it.
That is correct.
Yeah.
We've got aerial photos that have been sent. This is ongoing investigation right now, and I'll follow up with you, Mike,
All right.
after this.
Yeah, they were out last night dumpster diving again, bringing stuff in, so. Yeah.
do we have anybody else that wants to speak? Tommy?
Hi, Tom Watts, 3313 Outdoor Road, Moraine, Ohio, resident of City of Moraine for almost 60 years. Don't rub it in. I personally would like to thank Mr. Parker. I personally have called him. My wife has called him. He's been to my house twice himself. There was an incident on our street. The bottom of the truck actually blew out. When the bottom of the truck blows out, there's a lot of soup in the bottom of those trucks. And it was kind of gross. But Mr. Parker himself came out and cleaned it up. That was a big deal for me. That really was a big deal for me, and you need a pat on the back for that occasionally. You really do. I know the city has always had trouble with trash at one time or another. It doesn't matter what group we get, there's going to be some people upset. Can't make everybody happy. I don't mind Dayton. I don't mind Rumpke. I don't mind anything. What I do mind is people complaining about dumpsters being broke that was abandoned in the city of Moraine by Rumpke. We didn't pay for those individually. So if those dumpsters are broke, like he said, maybe they've met their life expectancy. Unfortunately, we might need, as citizens, we might need to open our pockets and go buy some trash cans. Okay? The only question I have for City of Dayton that concerns me greatly is I do see garbage trucks going up Main Street with two men standing on the back of those trucks. That, to me, is danger. Danger, danger, because now they're employed by the city of Moraine. They're working in the city of Moraine. If they fall off in the city of Moraine, who's liable? That scares me. Other than that, it's your guys' decision.
Do we have anybody else? Okay, does anybody want to make a motion to have legislation prepared?
I'll make a motion that we have legislation drawn up for City of Dayton 2027 intergovernmental agreement.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mr. Delph,
Yes.
Mrs. Witt,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus.
Yes. The next item is the 2026 property and liability insurance renewal.
Yes, the city currently carries property and liability insurance through Public Entities Pool of Ohio, PEP, along with over 500 municipalities and public agencies from across the state of Ohio. Our current policy expires on July 31st, and we've received the renewal documents from PEP. The renewal has been priced at $282,593. It reflects just over 7% increase over this year's premium. Last year, our increase was much greater. It was 17%, so this is much better than last year, obviously. And mainly the increase is related to increase in insured values, newer fleet. We acquired a street sweeper last year, and plus just a slight rate increase. I'm requesting that legislation to accept the proposal at the next, be brought to the next council meeting.
I'll make a motion that we have legislation prepared for the 2026 property and liability insurance renewal.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Delph,
Yes.
Mrs. Witt,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus.
Yes. The next item is the Moraine codified ordinances, a quarterly codification supplement.
That one would be mine. So this is just a housekeeping item. Every quarter, the supplement brings the local legislation current through April 9th of 2026, and the state legislation current through December 31st, 2025. I'm requesting emergency legislation be prepared approving the replacement pages so that the Moraine codified ordinance is brought up to date as quickly as possible.
I'll make a motion that we have legislation drawn. I will make a motion that we have legislation drawn up for the Moraine codified ordinances per the law, council clerk.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Witt,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mr. Dolph,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus.
Yes. Okay, the final item is the Parks and Recreation supplemental. This involves the splash pad.
Good evening again. So after the last meeting, I know you had a couple questions about the splash pad. So I believe, I went back, obviously, again, well, first off, I want to thank Karen and Ms. Marcus for allowing this to be on tonight. I know it got pushed. Last week was a pretty crazy week for us. So thank you for allowing this to get on there and your extra work that you all had to do. So I want to start with that because I know it didn't turn into a crazy big deal, but it was a lot of extra work for you. So thank you, Karen. So with that, I know there was a couple of things that needed to be addressed that you wanted to, that you wanted me to talk to Mike about. I believe those concerns have been addressed, just from the budget reduction, different age areas. I know I've been asked about that, reducing the restroom size from, 2 buildings to 1 building, reducing that awning. And then like shaded areas, I know someone spoke about shaded areas as well. And then a fence that's going to go along part of the side of the splash pad off of the restroom connecting to the Civic Center. So I believe most of those concerns have been addressed. Handicap parking was a topic that we addressed as well that I talked to Mike about. So I'm pretty sure where it was with that option 2 at that cost is where this needs to be. Sitting down again with Mike Schlegel from Kleiningers, he gave me a couple things to talk about tonight, that if, the cost being what it is, there is alternates out there that could possibly happen through this process. So just for instance, Tough Coat is a flooring, is a surface that will go on the splash pad. If that comes in way overpriced or very costly, we can look at an alternate for that to reduce that cost. So those kind of things may come about. He said you don't want a lot of those because you don't want that contractor thinking we're going to change everything as we go through this process, right? So there are alternates that we can come across that could reduce the price of the splash pad as well. And with that contingency, the $300,000 or $306,000 contingency, he said we probably will use some of that along the way, but of that money, if it's not spent, that just comes back to us, which then keeps that number, I know is a big number, it looks big, but that kind of shrinks that number as well. So I don't know if you all have any more costs. I know from the option 1 to option 2, the VE design, just for instance, we subtracted $41,000 from the pre-construction and demolition. We subtracted $9,500 from the earthwork, grading, and utilities. We subtracted $90,000 from the hardscape and site furnishings. We subtracted $22,000 from the landscape. And then the restroom was a big number. We subtracted $176,000 from that. And then $200,000 shrinking the splash pad that like we asked. So that in all, and that contingency, I didn't add that into this number yet, but we reduced it from option 1 to option 2 by an amount of $538,500. And then obviously with that contingency, if we don't spend all of that, it'll shrink that number even more. But to push this to go forward, I do have to ask for a certain amount of money tonight that, we'll get this project to the next phase, which is the construction phase, and get it bidded out. So I guess if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. But I would like to ask for legislation to be drawn up for supplemental funding of $890,500 to put this out so we can get it out to bid. So
I would like to remind council that park staff is pursuing some grants that community development has helped them with, and also we have not received the reward yet, but I know that we scored high on a CDBG grant for a little bit of money for the pad as well. So some of that will, ultimately, we need the supplemental for the estimated total amount, but the dollar amount spent at the end, if we get some of this additional assistance, will help lower that number a little bit.
And we also asked from the Nature Works, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, I think the max that we could ask for was 86,000, and we asked for that max as well. We have not heard back from them yet because we submitted it last week. It had to be submitted by July 1st. So me and my staff got it to Mike, and he got everything signed, and the resolution had gone through. So we are waiting. We're just waiting to hear back from that as well. So.
Anybody have any other questions or comments? Anyone in the audience have any questions? This is a big thing for the city. We haven't had a water feature since Splash Moraine. Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to have legislation prepared for the supplemental amount for the splash pad for $890,000 and $890,500 for the next council meeting.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mr. Delph,
Yes.
Mrs. Witt,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus.
Yes. And that includes.
you.
That includes our business for today. I was going to ask if anybody wants to appear before council, but I think they already did. So we're going to staff and council reports, and I think I'm going to pick on building and zoning this time.
Get to go first. No report.
City
you.
engineer,
No report, thank you.
street department,
No report, thank you.
building maintenance,
No report, thank you.
police department,
No report, thank you.
fire department,
No report, thank you.
parks and rec. He hasn't gotten third problem by now.
I've said a lot tonight, so I appreciate you all so much for this, and I can't wait to see this come to reality. It's going to be great for the city. So thank you all so much, and thank you, Mike.
Okay, law director.
No,
Do
ma'am,
have
thank
any?
you.
Finance director,
No, ma'am, thank you.
clerk of council.
If I'm not mistaken, I think you have a birthday coming up. So happy birthday to you. And that's all I have. You're welcome. You're welcome and sorry.
The fire department.
The fire department does the fire safety block party on the July 14th.
That's her birthday.
Oh, all right.
I have nothing further, Ms. Marcus, thank you.
Happy birthday next week. Hope you have a great one.
Just again to say thanks to all the staff for your guys' work last weekend. It was a wonderful event. And then just reiterate, I would like to visit with Mike or somebody about our department heads being able to advertise themselves.
Mr. Daughtery.
Just want to again thank Mr. Parker for coming out. We appreciate that. Again, I think that some communication from our citizens to you will solve a lot of these issues. Also wanted to just say I'm excited for the splash pad. I know we're jumping in. These are some big numbers. This is a big undertaking. I think that our citizens wanted some sort of water feature. And I know the pool was thrown around a lot, but we are not in the position to make that happen right now. So I feel like this is the next best thing, and it was unanimous support, so appreciate it.
Mr. Miller?
Yeah, the same thing. The splash pad is not just going to be another splash pad. It is going to be something really special and a little bit larger than some of the other ones in the area. And thank you, council, for voting to approve this, and I look forward to a year from now when it's completed. Also, I think we should recognize the winner of our national anthem singing contest here tonight. She did a fantastic job, and so congratulations.
Mrs. Witt?
And we had already given you a round of applause earlier. So you want us to do it again? No. You did do a great job. Thank you. Tonight, we had two really good pieces of legislation. One was City of Dayton trash. I'm always glad to get that contract behind us. And the splash pad, we've all looked forward to that. And like I told council, each council needs to do something that they're really proud of. And I think we will all be proud of that splash pad when it gets done. Thank you, Mr. Parker, for coming tonight.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes, I just wanted to tell Brent that the people from my church are already planning excursions to the splash pad. So I told them they can't make it till next year sometime.
I have nothing, except I'd like to comment that this is the best audience activity we've had in a long time. We don't normally have anybody here, and it's nice to see you all. Thank you. Bye. Oh, this meeting is adjourned at 7:19.